Hey everyone, welcome back to Gaming Iguana. I'm the Iguana, and today we are playing some ARK Survival Evolved Scorched Earth Edition. And I have in my sights here a level 96 Doedicurus, as you can see. It is a male. It is not the highest possible level we can get, but I've actually been out here for a long time looking for a good Doedicurus to tame. And as a bonus, there's also this level 108 male parasaur, which I think we're going to tame up and try to do some breeding with Cherry at some point. So first things first, I'm going to make sure that everybody is on passive. I'm going to grab out my bolas. I'm going to take this parasaur down first because it's the easiest one. It'll take me a while to get the Doedic out, so let's tame this guy up first. There we go. Nice. Get some arrows back. I'm just gonna pick up a few mejo berries here. I did not actually bring any mejo berries with me. I figured we would have time to go back and grab some from the other parasaurs, but this will work. We'll just get this parasaur up and get to taming this Doedic as well. And if we have to handpick the berries, that's not the biggest deal in the world. I am going to hold on to the narco berries though, because these guys do have a torpor that drains pretty fast, and narco berries will help keep it out. Better than narcotics will, actually. So it's a little bit better to pick up some of those. Pick up some narco berries rather than using your spare narcotics to keep things knocked out. There you go. And I don't really need the stim berries. Okay, I might actually wait until the parasaur is all the way up before I try to get this Doedicurus out, because they are little tanks. You can see they have really high torpor and pretty low health considering. So the trick is going to be to hit this guy with drank arrows in the head and not have him lose health enough so that he curls up in a ball. Because once he curls up in a ball, he's going to start losing torpor, and he's going to start gaining health. Which, the gaining health is great, but the losing torpor is not so great. It could take a long time to actually get this Doedicurus out, which would be a little bit disappointing. Alright, let's see. Alright, so the stats on this guy are not too bad. I think he's going to do just fine as like a breeding parasaur to have around. Might pick up a few more berries while we're out here. A few more mejo berries. You don't get very many per grab. Kinda wish I'd brought Cherry with us. And he's not gonna need all those, but here, we'll put these on him as well. But he'll hold them, and this way we'll have some berries ready for when the Doedic goes down. I'm not too worried in this area about losing the Doedic to like other carnivores. We do have the raptors with us, obviously, so that'll keep everything from going too far south, I hope. Can't make any guarantees in ARK, obviously. There we go. Hold all those berries for us. Cool. Alright, so I'm going to hang out here, and I will bring you guys back when he's up in just a minute, and we are ready to start taming the Doedic. Alright, so the parasaur is up and tamed, and we are going to make sure it is on passive, and that it's just standing here. Take a look at the stats real quick. So this is not bad. It's got lots of stam, lots of weight, and actually I think that's a decent health as well. So I think this is going to be a pretty good parasaur to do some breeding with. If you have any name suggestions, please leave them in the comments below. But we eventually will not be using this parasaur at all once we get some parasaurs bred up from this guy in Cherry, we should be using an imprinted parasaur or two from there on out as kind of pack mules and as our safety turrets around base. Alright, so we are going to jump right into taming this Doedic. This is going to be a little bit tricky. They do hit hard, and they can be difficult to lead. I normally try to tame these guys with trank arrows, but there's only so much you can do at this level, and we do need him for stone and sand. So as long as we're not hitting him on the shell, we'll be doing a decent amount of torpor damage. And gotta just hope I can stay out of the way of my other dinos, because I don't want them getting hit. Now they do take a lot of trank arrows. I put it into the Dodo Dex calculator, and it should take something like 42 arrows to take this guy down. So I did bring extra, just in case. But he's gonna look a little bit like a pincushion. Ouch. By the time that he actually goes down. Luckily we can kind of lead him around, and hopefully he doesn't run too far once we get him torpored up enough, because I'd really rather not chase this guy halfway across the map. Come here. Can't see you. There we go. And I'm just gonna pepper him until we get about, I don't know, 10 trank arrows left maybe, or something like that. I do have a magnifying glass that I crafted up, obviously. We were using that, so you can kind of see where he's at in terms of torpor and health. Come on, you. It just takes a long time. Do your turn, slow turn. There we go. I will say, taming these guys is not the hardest thing in the world. He's running now. Turn around. That means he's got a good amount of torpor, but I want him going the other way. Nope, towards the raptors preferably, and not away from safety. Oh boy. But he is not... He's not really running away from me. He's kind of just running in a straight line. There we go. Come on. Turn. Alright. Hey. That worked out great. Okay, so... I don't see anything immediately in the area that could kill this guy, so we're gonna run back over here. Grab the raptor, grab the parasaurs. I did load up the parasaur with a bunch of berries, so we do have plenty of major berries to do this tame. Come on, Brimstone, and come on, you. Let's run over here and see how we're gonna do. Parasaurs are so slow compared to raptors. Alright, come on. Let's grab all these. Excellent. Okay, 2.4%. Alright, so this is going to take a long time. But we are going to end up with a pretty high level Doedic. These stats don't look too bad. The weight is kind of low, but the weight is always kind of low on Doedics. I'm going to put these into the Dodedex stat calculator and see what we're working with here. Hopefully we have some decent numbers. The health looks really good on this, actually, which is not a bad thing. That means that it won't get killed if it is loose one day. Anyway, so I'm going to bring you guys back when this guy is all tamed up or about ready to finish taming. And in the meantime, I'm just going to babysit him and make sure there's nothing dangerous in the area, because I really don't want to lose this Doedic, because it's the only high-level Doedic I've seen around this area, and we definitely need this thing for taming. So, I will bring you guys back in a couple of minutes. Alright, so we have a Doedicurus up, and I did punch his stats into the stat calculator, and they are unfortunately not that great. Everything is average except for food and melee, which are low, which means that he actually put a lot of points into his movement speed while he was wild, which kind of is not so great for us because that's not what we want. But, I mean, food and melee being low is not that big a deal for a Doedicurus. Like, at least it wasn't weight or health or something like that. Cool. Alright, this Anki is kind of driving me crazy, so we are going to end him real quick. He's been making stomping noises for the past, like, 10 minutes, so I am so done with him. Alright. Now, something interesting I discovered while I was running around out here is that parasaurs on turret mode can't actually move at all. So you can see that this one's following Brimstone here with us, but when we go to run away, he can't follow. And yes, it is raining. That is the second time actually that it's rained on this particular game, which is interesting because that's super rare. Anyway, so this parasaur, obviously turret mode, can't actually follow us. So in order to have it follow us, we need to take it off of turret mode, and then it can move. So that's something to pay attention to. Just if you're out taming parasaurs and you put yours on turret mode, be aware that it cannot actually move from its single spot, not even to attack, not to follow, nothing. So you could lose a parasaur if you put it on turret mode and then can't pay attention to where it's at for some reason. Alright, so we are going to take these guys back to base. It's going to take a little while. Doedics are not the fastest things in the world, but base isn't that far. Luckily, it's just kind of over in that direction. So I will bring you guys back in a couple of minutes. We're going to make a saddle up for this guy and take it out for a test drive, get some sand, get some rocks, and then eventually we'll be able to start building like a stable for all of our creatures with that. Alright, I'll see you guys in a couple of minutes. Alright guys, so we have made it back to base without incident. Didn't take that long, but it was just slow enough that I didn't feel like talking for the whole little journey over here. But we have this Doedic. He is now safe at base. We are going to come in here and craft ourselves up this Doedic saddle. Once it's done, we'll be able to pull it out. Oh, that's a slow craft. Alright. Excellent. So now we have our little Doedic. Man, it has been a while. I forgot how much fun these things are, really. So, the Doedic's primary purpose, this is the right-click attack, which is just a little bit of a roll, and it will do damage to anything in its path. Not a lot of damage. Test it out on this bug if we can hit it. Or the jerboa. Nope. Kind of? No. It's supposed to do damage. Maybe it doesn't work on small creatures. Anyway, but that's kind of a fast way to get around. It does use up a lot of stam. It also has this tail swing attack, which is its primary attack. And as you see, it harvests up mostly stone, and on Scorched Earth, it also harvests up sand. Now, the thing is, the Doedic has a huge weight reduction on stone. So, in my inventory, stone weighs 50. In their inventory, it weighs 12.5, which is a huge reduction. But they don't get any weight reduction on sand. So you can see here, it's 50 for them, it's 50 for me. Now, I really think that they should fix this. Like, Doedic is the primary dino you use to harvest up sand on Scorched Earth. It's super useful for it. It collects a lot, just about the same as it collects for stone. And most of the building you do here is, in fact, for adobe, so you need all this sand to make up your clay. But there's no weight reduction. Like, no dino has a weight reduction on sand. And that's just one of these few things that happens where I really think Wildcard should offer more support for the Scorched Earth map and reconsider some of the choices they make about what items weigh what on certain dinos. So we are actually just going to drop all of these things because right now I'm just trying to get a couple of levels on this guy, get its weight up. They're slow, they will always be slow, so I'm only really worried about making sure it's got some weight so we can carry more when we actually go to harvest up stuff for making our stable. Awesome. This isn't bad. Obviously this is not the highest level Doedic we can get, but it'll do the job. I mean, it's harvesting up pretty quick, which is kind of nice. Look at all that. This is going to make building so much easier, especially once we get an Anki too and we can kind of harvest up a lot of flint and metal. That'll be really good for crafting other things like gunpowder and spark powder and stuff like that. And then we have the parasaurs for harvesting up cactus sap from these. They're not the best at it, but they do okay. Eventually we need to get a Morellatops like this one, except higher level, hopefully. Because the Morellatops do a really good job of harvesting up cactus sap, and that is going to be probably the best way we can start doing some serious building on here. Maybe set up our main base wherever we decide to build that eventually. Okay, over here. Break these rocks. There we go. They actually don't do too bad at harvesting up cactus sap and thatch. And I keep going into my inventory. It's like habit. Alright, we don't need any of this. I wonder if we can hit this parasaur. There we go. So, that's what the roll attack is supposed to do. Oh, my jerboa got in on the action. The roll attack is supposed to do damage to creatures like it did to that parasaur. And apparently it just doesn't work on little creatures like jerboas. Which is fine, because I'd feel bad if we smashed a jerboa, honestly. Alright. We're gonna roll our way up here and smash these rocks now. Unfortunately, the Doedic does not have any way to harvest up its own berries, which I always thought was one of those interesting, again, another interesting choice that Wildcard has made. I mean, I guess it prevents the Doedic from being too OP with its harvesting abilities, but it seems a little silly that it can't even really feed itself. There is no sea attack or anything, so it's just the roll and this tail swing. But the tail swing obviously doesn't hurt bushes at all. It can hurt trees and things, but it doesn't hurt bushes. So, no berries. Alright, don't want any of that. Awesome. Alright, we're gonna roll our way back up here. Alright, so I think that's where we're going to end off the episode today. We did some cool stuff. We got ourselves a Doedic, which is going to be super handy for building. And we also tamed ourselves up this other parasaur, which I still need to sort out where he is being kept. Bring him over here next to Cherry. Hello, Procoptodon. I really need to get some walls up around this base. That is annoying to have things always running into your stuff. Alright, so we also tamed up this parasaur, which is pretty great. Ah, give me your oil. So now we can actually do some parasaur breeding, maybe get some parasaur mutations, possibly. That could be a thing. But mostly I think we just want to do a little bit of breeding, get ourselves an imprinted parasaur or two, and have those serve as our primary pack mules for now until we get ourselves a Morellatops, like that guy over there, and we can basically use these guys as mini transport until we get something a little bit heftier. like that, and maybe a parasaur at some point, but I think parasaurs we're going to want trank darts to be able to tame, so we have a few more levels to get before we can do those. Alright, so I think that's going to do it for today, and what is up with the jerboa on my shoulder? Hold on a second. That's not right. Come here. That looks better. Alright, so have a good one, guys. It's been real fun. Signing off, I'm the Iguana, and I'll see you guys next time.